Hey everyone! Welcome back! I am back today with more Kamen Rider Saber, you guys. I cannot wait to see what is going to happen next on this show. If you're joining me early today, you already know what it means. It means you are one of my awesome patrons. Thank you so much, and as always, I am sending you up those big old hugs right through that screen. And if not, still thank you for joining me today. I'm glad you're here. I do hope you'll consider supporting me that way. The link to my Patreon is going to be in the description down below. So, alright guys, the show continues to blow my mind because each episode I feel like we get just like more and more, they just keep upping the ante with like awesome stuff, and we get more into like this mystery of what is really going on. It just feels like it's very layered. Like the more we watch, the more we get more questions instead of answers, you know what I mean? So last time we had the introduction, the official introduction of another rider, Kamen Rider Slash. I loved the name to begin with. It makes so much sense to me now. I don't know if this is what they had in mind, but like the fact that he's like rock music influenced. I wonder if it has to do with like Slash from Guns N' Roses. I don't, but a lot of you may not even know who Guns N' Roses are. They're like a classic rock band. But it makes me wonder now if that's like the influence, or probably not, but you know, I like to dream. What can I say? And it's like they were sitting around thinking, let's put two incredible things together and make it into one Kamen Rider. And one person was like candy, and the other was like rock music. And it just works so well together because I love that Daishinji gets like hyper, like super hyper when he like starts to get into his mode. And because it's so funny because it's such a contrast to his regular character, but it makes so much sense with like the hyper aspect of like very hard rock music and like the sugar aspect of candy. It just actually works together really well. I would think to put candy with like pop music. But it actually works really well also with rock music. It blew my mind, guys. I was practically tearing up. I was so happy. And I said this last time, but it reminded me of the sugar game from Wreck-It Ralph a little bit, like all the effects and everything. It was just fun. It was just all around fun. But in the midst of all that fun, we got some stuff. So it was actually pointed out to me that when Touma actually realizes when he starts to remember the girl, when he remembers it, it's obscured a little bit, and I didn't think anything of it at the time, but then they like show Kento's face kind of like, whoa, and I just thought, oh, Kento realizes he's starting to remember the past and the little girl. But I think even like the little boy's face was obscured, which is really weird because if there's one thing they've taught us on the show, it's that when they obscure a face, they're planning on doing something later on with that. So now I'm like, was the other little boy Kento, or what are they trying to tell us, you know? Or maybe it's just like a coincidence, I don't know. But the other thing is, Sophia apparently can't leave the base at all. Like, we saw her briefly leave the base, and that's like a thing. She can't leave the base. So like, what is going on there? What is her role really? I mean, we know what her role is. She's like holding down the fort there, but it's kind of interesting that like it would be such a big deal for her to even like leave for a second. We got a new female character. We don't really know what her place is, but I'm very curious about that. Initially, my first one was like, oh my god, is this a little girl? But I don't think they would so casually introduce the little girl from the past in that way. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. It's happened before, guys. It occasionally happens that I am not correct. It happens a lot. But, you know, we already know now that they had kind of been flirting with this idea of, is Calibur really Kento's dad? And then they just straight up, like at the end, Sophia was like, who are you really? So, we're getting kind of deeper into a few other mysteries. You know, we kind of had these mysteries to start with. Touma not being able to completely recall his past. You know, Calibur and that whole thing that was kind of, they obscured his face an episode or two ago, and it was kind of like, but it feels like the more we go, the more they're kind of turning things even more on their head and, you know, answering our questions with more questions. So, I'll be very curious to see where they're going with it. And we know that Touma's going to be writing a new story now about everyone, which I think will be really cool. And we got a little bit of him doing that a few episodes ago. And I thought that was, I think it's really fun that like this early on in the series, we already kind of like have the power of friendship going for us. You know, I feel like usually we have to wait a little bit, you know, like for everyone to kind of like build up over time. But it really doesn't feel like they're forcing anything either. Like, I feel like I already know these characters pretty well. They've done a really good job of getting me used to them in a short period of time, which I would say is essential on a show where you're going to have like a billion riders. So they're doing really well with that so far. So yeah, lots of mysteries, you know, episode 10, and we have like 5 mysteries going on, and again, like 10 riders. We don't have that many. We have a few already. So, all right, guys, can't wait to see what's going to happen next. What do you say we go ahead, jump in, and get started on the next episode? Let's go. All right, you guys. So old Saber is Calibur. How? Why? Where's Kento's dad? What does this mean for Kento's dad? A lot of, it had slipped my mind that there were some things that like Kento and Touma did not know about each other yet. Like when they had that scene and Touma was like, "Father, what does he mean?" And I'm like, "Oh shoot, that's right." Like, oh dang. And here we were like just like extolling the virtues of friendship and being honest with each other. And now is this going to make like a little bit of a rift between them, that there was some information that was not shared? Maybe not though, because they had that understanding that like, look, we're not going to like force each other to, you know, talk a lot about this. Just know that like our bond is strong. We're here for one another. So maybe not. But dang, like the shock is real for sure. So, okay. So old Saber is Calibur. Said to Kento, your dad was guilty of betrayal. But if Saber's on the bad guy side, would betrayal to him be betrayal of the bad guys, and Kento's dad was actually a good guy? I don't know. I feel like I'm getting into some real murky logic here. Oh, man. Okay. I kind of wondered about that when we saw that picture a few episodes back. And once you guys clued me in as to who it was in the picture. What does this mean? And where do we go from here? Very, very, very interesting. Also very glad we got to see Slash in action again. I can never get enough. I can never get enough of Slash, guys. Ever. Wish I lived in that little gingerbread house with him. Anywho. Oh, also, the Caraberis was I called it Cereberus. I don't know, maybe that's another way you can say it. But I should have known Caraberis from Cardcaptor Sakura. Remember little Caraberos? Okay, that was pretty sweet. Calibur is absorbing their attacks. And now they have that new book that we saw formulated at the bad guy headquarters, which is not good. All right, we have quite a mess to clean up here, guys. We have quite a bit to get into. That was intense. So here we are with more answers, but even more questions. Just like I said at the beginning, like the more we learn, the more it opens up more questions. So, all right, I had a blast with that, guys. I cannot wait to see what happens next. I cannot believe that we are 10 episodes in and we are this far. Like, this could be like episode 35. I've been saying that for the whole series, though, that like, seriously, they're starting off at like that level. So I can't wait to see where they go from here. That means it's just going to get like even better. So I had a blast with that episode. I hope you had a blast watching along with me. Thank you so much for joining me today, you guys. Please be sure to join me next time and we will watch it together. Bye for now, guys.